Hi everyone. I see there's people already heading to the exit, so that shows you how important goaltending is. I've been tasked with talking about the guys with equipment. So one of the trends that we noticed in the playoffs this year is traffic in front, especially in the Stanley Cup final, how Vegas was able to kind of get to Bob and solve him. So we're going to start with a pretty simplistic drill, something that you would see kind of like a goalie training or like a goalie camp per se, and then we're going to kind of build it out into more power play like team type settings. So the focus here for the goalies is always about getting your sight lines, right? Without compromising balance, mechanics, and your path as you're moving from one spot to the other. So first drill, we're going to have the shots coming in from up top. We're going to try and mimic the top of the umbrella. And in this scenario here, we're going to use the goalie to take the other goalie's eyes away. So sometimes this can be tricky because the goalie's shoulder pads, everything are a little bit wider, so it's going to be harder for the goalies to kind of grab their sight lines, but it's a great place to start, and then we can start adding in the layers from there. Okay, hold up, boys. Hold up, guys. Hold up a sec. Also, to be a goalie coach, you have to be really tough because you put yourself in the line of fire. So here, what we want to look at from the goalie's perspective is when we have the screener in front, our objective obviously was to try to get eyes on the puck. So right now, as the goalie is moving from one side to the other, ideally we're switching the player up top of the umbrella, that shot's coming through. Right now, we're just focusing on that one shot from up top. Understandably, teams are going to change the angle depending on who their shooters are, but we want to keep it simplistic just to kind of work through what we're seeing. So as the goalie's moving in, right, their objective, like I said, is to pick up where the puck is coming from, but we're also always looking through the shooter's strong side. So as we're coming through here, the goalie should be getting early eyes on the puck, right, where the potential pass is going. So as they're moving across now, they're trying to get eyes on that puck through the screen in front. Ideally, we're trying to get up close, relatively close to the screen. So if the screen's further out, right, then we're going to try to make sure we're getting eyes on the puck without sacrificing balance and symmetry in our hands. So if the goalies, if their hands start to drift or they're getting too heavy on one side, they're going to compromise their ability to move across. Why we're going on strong side is chances are in a game under pressure, quick shot from up top, the shooter's always going to shoot to their strong side. So either in the middle or to their strong side, they're going to have a hard time pulling the puck across. If they do pull it across, we want to stay and gather as much information as we can as the shot's release and then move into the shot. But goalies have a tendency, especially at the younger age groups, to do a very large movement into the shot, which will usually end up putting them outside of the post. So while we're focusing on what's going on in front of the net, we're also trying to be mindful of our path and our positioning in the net behind us. Sometimes, especially with younger goalies, you'll see that they start to sacrifice what's going on behind them to make the save and not trust their positioning. So this one here, adding a second layer, now we're adding more traffic in front, but now the traffic in front is going to move a little bit more true to a game-like scenario. So on this drill here, we're going to activate the weak side winger to come in out in front of the net. So now as we're adding layers and more activity, we're going to force the goalie to go beyond and really try to find sight lines on that puck. So now they're going to have to be really focused on, are they sacrificing balance? A lot of times now what we're looking to do, especially where the puck is now on the perimeter, so for us, anything above the top of the circle or outside of the dot lane, we're considering the perimeter. So we're going to what we're calling a perimeter stance. So it's going to be slightly narrower, still in athletic position, so they can still get down and make a save on it. But they're in a position where ideally they can get better eyes on the puck. They're going to be a little bit more patient on their feet, right? So for minor hockey coaches, you guys will be excited about that, right? We want to try and encourage patience on the feet, because the issue is some goalies, when they get into a save selection, they get their feet outside their shoulders and now they're stuck. So the only thing they can do on any shot or pass is to drop down into their butterfly. So we want to encourage them to kind of hold their edges a little bit longer, trust in their position and trust in their footwork, but also those lighter feet will give them more confidence to kind of move around with the passes. Now, as their sight lines start to become eclipsed or the puck starts to move into the middle, you might see them start to widen out and kind of get low and start looking around the screens. So yesterday we heard some of the NHL coaches talking about using the backside boards and creating an option. This one here ended up more coming off in a rebound and ending up short side. But this is why for goalies it's so important, especially I like using these NHL creases. A lot of times in minor hockey you have more the bigger creases, so the goalies feel like they have to kind of get out in here to be able to make saves. But once that puck kind of comes behind, we want the goalies always being mindful of that path back to the post. Once the first shot comes in the middle, the puck starts to move around to the wing. We want to see them coming back towards the post. We don't need to see them out here. Reason being, if there's a pass made on the rebound, now when I start to move, technically the net, I've made it bigger because I'm playing outside of my post. So we have to be mindful, once the puck starts moving below the hash marks, we don't have to be over aggressive. And this is uniform. It doesn't really matter the size of the goalie, because also the smaller goalies, especially in the younger age groups, the shots are also going to be relevant to their skill level. So you're not gonna have the same skill guys looking to go top corner, and it's all about your position based on the net. So the goalie's needing to understand as the puck moves, the net actually gets smaller. So once that puck came off in the rebound here, we want to see our goalie going right back into the post, but then coming in because the puck was in what we call a dead angle. So whether they use an overlap or that post integration that all the coaches like, that's going to be a more appropriate spot for them to use it, but they want to make sure that they're rotating in and rotating back. Because of the angle, the net's really small. A lot of goalies get stuck being over aggressive, kind of over squaring to that puck. So it's going to sacrifice their ability to move on any kind of backdoor passes. Okay, guys? Okay, so the next drill that we're gonna do, drill number 3, is gonna be another progression, but so at the higher levels, there's traffic in front, scrum in front, but now they're adding the high man, kind of F3 in the zone, looking for the high tip as they're coming in. So taking the goalie's eyes away is now one layer. The second layer is changing the angle, changing the trajectory of the shot, forcing the goalie to have to now not only fight through traffic to find that puck where it's going, but now they're actually changing the direction, whether it's a high tip, low tip, redirection in front. So here we're gonna activate the backdoor weak side guy. The weak side guy is gonna come across to the top looking for that tip. Ideally, our defenseman's gonna activate out and try to pick them up. So just a quick point there, goalie ended up going down. So at the end of the day, a lot of traffic in front, goalie loses the sight lines, they're gonna get as low as possible. You might see the pro guys that are a lot stronger on their edges, hold their edges a little bit longer, but they're gonna be very wide and low. You're gonna see the younger guys starting to drop down because once their sight lines are gone and they know the puck's coming in from in front, their job is to get down into the butterfly and just try to cover as much ground as possible, trying to anticipate where that puck is coming from. So you'll see if the goalie's eyes are totally taken away on this and he sees the shot release, he's just trying to get down and just trying to take up as much space as possible, which is what's led to at the higher levels them preferring the big guys. Small guys, UC Saros in Nashville, phenomenal on screens. He's about the same height as me on a good day, I'm told. So if he can battle at the highest level with giant defensemen and everybody else in front of him, it is possible. It just comes down to development with the goalies and communication, letting them understand what they're looking for, how they're going through the plays, and how are you wanting them to develop.